So day three, the engineers arrive again super early, 7 o'clock. These guys are professional, you know. They arrive on time, they leave on time, you know, they leave everything clean. I mean clean. They clean the whole house, take everything that they need to take with them, that kind of stuff. But yeah, today's been just connecting the main water tank, making sure that the pipes are all in place and that there is not going to be any leaks when they leave. And then also they started draining the radiators downstairs and also the radiators in the bedroom. There's also a big radiator that they're replacing in the actual bathroom. That's also done. As you can see here, the radiator in the bathroom is already in place. It's looking brilliant. It's a massive radiator compared to what we had before. The bedrooms have all kind of like a smaller radiator, but slightly bigger than what we had before. So it's almost as if they just change a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit in terms of like the size of the radiators. Um, I'm really pleased with all the work. There hasn't been any leaks or anything like that, so we don't really um we're not really worried about anything just because of how professional the guys have been, how clean they've been, how organized. Um, and yeah, you can see here now the electrician just installed the actual unit for controlling the temperature downstairs. The unit is installed in this wall here, just units facing the other direction away from the sun. And the idea is that the room will always be warm, and then it will actually be the temperature in the room rather than something um, like a sun hitting the actual sensors and the system thinking that it actually reach the 22 degrees that we like the house to be in. um, so yeah, that's now in place, and you can see on the other side here, the big radiator for the sunroom has been installed, and they're just doing the last bit, making sure that the pipes are all sealed properly, that they're not gonna leak. Um, yeah, that's today. It's just been about getting the radiators in place and making sure that they are sealed correctly so that when they start getting the water, they don't start leaking. And they've started now opening all the water to go into the radiators. So it seems like so far everything is going according to plan. And they also started getting the water into the tank and just checking to make sure that there's nothing leaking. It looks like they might be able to test the system today because they're actually ahead of the schedule. So they're gonna test the system, and if everything works, they'll be able to just leave, and then they don't have to come back tomorrow. So good times. We're just checking to see if everything's gonna work. So they've triple checked all the radiators, everything is fine, and then now they're turning on the beast. It seems to be working. The one thing that I was told is that the temperature doesn't go from similar to what we had before, the traditional boiler where you turn it on and within a few minutes it's hot. So it takes time for the heat pump to actually reach the temperature that they would like it to be. And then obviously once it reaches that, then we can test the system and make sure that the radiators are getting warm. Again, the radiators don't get hot, they get warm. This is something I didn't know. They just continuously warm rather than getting really hot and then turning off and then something like that. So there's a lot for me to learn. They're going to take me through all the documentation and everything that I need to know. Um, yeah, so that's the next step now while the system is heating up. Right, so we went from 0 to 18 degrees, and we are now um, waiting for it to reach 20 before the guys can leave. It's looking good. I mean, it's just a couple hours. The guys have their tea, their coffees, and waiting basically. Good news, the radiators are working, they're warm. We checked every single room. The temperature right now is 20 degrees, and it's going up. We'd like the house to be at 22 degrees. I know a lot of people probably thinking, what? But look at me. I like warm places. So, temperature once it reaches 22, we're gonna leave it there. And if it feels too warm, we're gonna bring it down. But for now, the idea is to leave it 22. And then I'm gonna have a look around. The guy's been, showing me all the settings that I can play with. There is some which is like I had no idea about any of these before I actually jumped and started, getting this heat pump installed. But there's something called a um, let me see if I can get this right. Weather curve temperature thing. Something is a weather curve temperature um, settings. And basically it checks the weather outside, and then it makes sure that it uses that as a way to regulate the heat or the water that goes into the tank, or the temperature in the tank that goes into the radiators, how hot it is, and things like that. So I need to spend some time looking into this and making sure that I give you the right information. But for now, yeah, I'm playing with these settings now. I need to figure out how they work and what they do. But right, so all the paperwork signed and it's done. The guys have left now. We're looking at, you know, um, somebody coming on Friday to actually take all the rubbish with them. So once that is done, I will be using the system properly. The next thing that I was advised to do is make sure that I contact British Gas to come and take away the gas meter, because obviously we're no longer using that. So I'm gonna do that on Friday, making sure that everything works first, and then I'll call them to get these gas meter removed because we're no longer using it, and we don't want to be paying the standing charge. So yeah, so far I'm happy with it. It's 22 degrees in the house. It's brilliant. We're loving it.